We do have what we call another inspirational speaker to come on and talk to us, and who's gone through the mill, if you will. He is, well, what can I say? The first black footballer for Chelsea. First black footballer for Chelsea, so in the Premiership as well. So he's had his hardships throughout, but he actually came out of that. He's written a book, and it's a powerful book, and it's called Black and Blue, and it's basically how racism, drugs, and cancer almost destroyed him. His name is Paul Canoville, and we will be having him on the line, joining us here. Paul, what can I say? Lovely to have you, and thank you for taking your time out. How are you?
Sorry, good afternoon. How are you doing, Pam?
I'm all right. Thank you very much. Thank you ever so much. I just said, some deep words there. Black and blue, how racism, drugs, and cancer almost destroyed me. Powerful words, and your sort of storyline, and it ends in a positive note. But let's go back. Let's go back. First black footballer, Chelsea football team. How was that? How was that? Amazing. How was that for you?
A dream. It was something that from the age of 5, that's all I wanted to be. But obviously coming from a Caribbean background, my mother didn't see football as as a job. So wanted me to go into other directions, to be a doctor or a policeman. But I stood the ground. Don't get me wrong, it was difficult having to convince her. I think other people had to really convince her and tell her how good I was. But don't get me wrong, it wasn't an easy road. As a young lad, I did sway, I did go the wrong way as such, misbehaved. But I think it was the time that I went into Borstal, I misbehaved. I say misbehaved, got myself in trouble. That I had to turn it around and chase that dream. I don't know, we all have, but I had a second mother. And that second mother was an aunt that always encouraged me, and she pushed me. And it was for her that told me I think now you need to start chasing your dreams and follow what you know you're good at. And that was football. So it was when I came out of Borstal, I was playing non-league in England Borough and got spotted by Scout at Chelsea after going for a few trials at various clubs like West Brom, Southampton, Wimbledon. But Chelsea came in. It didn't happen the first time round, first weeks of trial, but the second weeks of trials came and they signed me for the remaining 7 months, and I had to prove myself then. By doing so, playing in reserves, which was great, don't get me wrong. I found it a lot easy. Coming out from semi-pro, scoring goals, man of the match, that I was drafted into the first team after 4 months. Everybody knows my story, to be honest. From that 4 months, I was asked to be a sub in a particular game at Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. Obviously, young lad, 21, 22, he's excited, calls his cousins, calls his friends, come to give me the support. And it was through after the second half, which the game was drawing 0-0, that my managers asked me to go and get warmed up. By doing so, I was so excited, adrenaline was pumping, and the stadium was that close to the fans that I started to hear some racist abuse. I thought, let me ignore this, just concentrate. But it continued and it continued, and I thought, well, hold on, man, nobody talking to those Crystal Palace fans. But I turned around and it wasn't Crystal Palace fans, it was a minority of my own fans that was racially abusing me, and that was the wake-up call to me. It was very hard, very difficult to concentrate, and I probably lost interest. Even when I got onto the pitch, I hugged the line. I was just waiting for the referee to blow and ran straight into the change rooms. I mean, that's got to be the first time I've ever seen a change room quiet from the players.
Mm.
Usually we have banter, but they came in and they heard consistently what I was called and what could they say to me. I think, well, at that time, the only person that came to me was my manager, John Neal, and I have to give him thorough respect because he gave me my opportunity and told me this. He said, Paul, man, I don't know what you're thinking right now, but those same ignorant people are the same ones who are paying your wages. What are you going to do? And he was right. I had to show him football. But many times I felt like I had to play twice as better than my teammates just to try and get accepted.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And this is way back in 82. I mean, now, put it this way, Paul, now, would you say you would have taken on a different stance, even if you still were the same age, but now, would you have sort of like let it go quite quickly early on, just really just said, don't care?
No, I don't think so.
You would have still been the same.
I kind of, at that time, as much as I can get very angry quickly, but I thought, you know what, I had to control myself. And that was like your person, your colleague that you was talking to before, listening to my mum and listening to when she came over the Windrush and her stories, it was like, whoa, I don't know if I could have done that, mum, but I had to be calm. Some of the times she would tell me, man, bite your lip and count to 10. You know what I mean? And it was one of those that, you know what, if they saw that anger and temperament from me, I'd be thrown out. And that was the reason why I kept quiet and I didn't complain. Today's football, you can. I mean, you got to understand the organizations like Kick It Out and Show the Red Card. They wasn't about at the time.
That's right.
I had nobody to talk to or share what was going on with me or how I was feeling. And the club at that time, different regime, you got to understand, wasn't supportive neither. Today, we are. Today, I can only talk about Chelsea. Today, we're doing a lot of things to eradicate racism in sport and at football. So to be involved in that, you know, I'm an advocate. I'm always there speaking out, most definitely. And this is something we need to get out right now. It's disgusting.
Okay. So in that tagline of racism, that's that. Now you say drugs. Can we talk about
Drugs
that?
came. You got to understand, I had to retire at a very early age of 25. That's your
injury.
An injury, yeah. I dislocated my knee after leaving from Chelsea to Reading Football Club. Through the first 16 after 13 games. And a game that I was so comfortable, I was so well with the lads, a game against Sunderland. And it was a terrible tackle from an opponent that the whole of my knee came out, torn ligaments, torn cruciates, the lot. That when you're told by the specialist, I don't think you can continue being a professional footballer. That was difficult to take. I think going back then, and I go to the periods of when your mother's telling you about taking your education seriously and you're thinking, Mum, I'm all right, football, look after me. Realize now, what am I going to do? I didn't take any exams when I left school, so all I knew for me was football. So that period of time, it was difficult for me when depression came in, mental health came in, and I got involved in drugs, and it took control. It was the worst time in my life. I didn't care. At times when it came, I didn't want to live. I tried to take my life. Many things was going through my head, and if it wasn't for the support of my family, my kids, and the circle of friends I had around me, and obviously going to rehab, that I wouldn't probably be in here today.
Yeah. You just spoke about your kids there, but you had a tragedy with one of your children.
Ooh, you're bringing out some real thing in that. You read that book, didn't you? God. Yeah, I think that as well gave me strength. And when my son died in my arms at 10 days old, yeah, that kind of tore me up inside. As much as not just myself, but his mother and his sister, that I had to fix up. I had to fix up. It was hard explaining to your kids really what was going on, and I was always in denial and trying to keep them away, and everybody, like with depression, it was a case of I'd smile on the outside, but inside I was tearing up, all because I didn't want to share with anybody. So to come through that, I think the best help I had was talking to a counselor, and that was one of the hardest things for me to do because of your background, Caribbean background. If you know your parent, your mother tell you, don't tell anybody your problem. It stays in full.
The dirty laundry doesn't go out there.
Doesn't go out. You know that. And it was a case when people ask you, are you all right, Paul? Yeah, I'm fine. And I wasn't fine. I wanted to open up, but I couldn't. And the counsellor helped me to do that. And it's the reason why probably in that I'm able to talk now as a motivational, inspirational speaker as such, you know.
Yeah. We're going to hook on that right now because we do have to round up, and I wanted to talk a bit about something else, but we have to round up. So let's talk about your motivational speech. Let's talk about the fact that you do inspire young people. Let's talk about the book as well. So first of all, how can people get their hands on this book? It is called Black and Blue. Where do they obtain this book?
Black and Blue, you'll have to order it from Amazon. And you forget to tell them this one sports book of the year. I was shocked that it did. It's not just about football. It's about me growing up, naturally as a kid, vulnerable as such, and having cancer, which you mentioned. I've had it 3 times. First time it's coming through, I took it lightly and I nearly died. That inspired really the resilience of getting up every time I'm knocked down. And this is what I do with the kids, which obviously comes from the Paul Canoville Foundation. We like to assist because many of these kids need mentors. They do need mentors.
They do. So
I know that because I grew up without, my dad left when I was 2, and me and my sister, and it was my mum that brought us up. And I know I gave her a difficult time, and I wanted a male figure. I needed a male figure to talk to share, and I didn't have that. So I know today's kids, they do need mentors. They do need somebody to share with. They do need somebody to hold and talk to them. So that's the reason why.
So Paul, can we get that website address for the foundation?
You can do. Different because we're refurbishing it at this moment. So if you don't see it up, be patient. It is being refurbished. By the end of the month, it should be. I hopefully will say it should be www.paulcanavillefoundation.com. or .co.uk. Hopefully try them out, but be patient, as I said.
People can look out for that. In the meantime, they can buy your book and they can go to Amazon, Black and Blue by Paul Canoville. Paul, thank you ever so much. I'm going to probably say to you, I'd like to invite you later on in the year as well. But thank you for coming to the first time on the Lifestyle Show, albeit very remote, but it's all good. And maybe next time we can meet each other in the flesh. Thank you ever so much, Paul. Thank you. Take care. Wow, a wonderful, inspirational bit there, because I mean, you know, you go to a dark place and, you know, you come out. It's amazing to be able to do that. And I think if a lot of people can hear most of these stories, I keep doing this thing wrong. I'm going to take these things off because it's getting nice. If people can hear all about that, it's absolutely wonderful.